to my YouTube channel. My name is Elena Kimaru, for those who are new here. On today's topic, I wanted us to focus on mental health, especially during these COVID-19 uncertain times. Before we continue, I did a bit of a Google search on what mental health is, and according to Wikipedia, mental health is a level of psychological well-being or an absence of mental illness. It is a state of someone who is functioning at a satisfactory level of emotional and behavioral adjustment. So basically, that's what we will be talking about in this video. So are you guys who is feeling a bit anxious, a bit stressed because of what's happening? Because for me, I think I am. It's not easy with all the curfews, with all the uncertainties. Oh, today you are told that you have to wash your hands, and then tomorrow someone tells you you have to maintain social distance. The day after that, you are told actually 2 meters or 1.5 meters is not enough. The virus can actually go even to up to 8 meters. It's a bit stressful, and because of that, I know people are anxious, because if you're not, then I must say you must be very strong. So a lot of people have been affected emotionally and even psychologically, and in a lot of other ways, including even financially. I have friends who have been sent home on unpaid leave, friends who have businesses and they have to close their businesses because they can't actually operate, and people who can't even put food on their tables because they rely on a day-to-day job, like casual jobs, so that they can get paid and buy stuff for their homes. And with that, the fact that we don't even know when COVID-19 will actually end, and I don't know whether there is even hope, but me, I'm very hopeful and I'm remaining optimistic despite the very hard times. To tell you the truth, I would say actually on my part, I have a business, and right now my business involves actual trainings where you physically meet with the clients so that you can actually conduct the workshops and the trainings. But I actually can't do that because the thing is, especially I work with kids, I can't just show up at their home and then I'm like, oh, I'm here, let's continue with the training. So that technically means right now my business is kind of under, because it relies on me training so that I get paid. Then some friends of mine tell me they've been sent home on unpaid leave. Were they even told how long they will stay home and after how long they can get their jobs back or get their salaries back? No, they haven't. And then I recently was through my company, we were making soap so that we could distribute to people. And what happened is, when we were distributing the soap, people were like, oh, unatupatia soap, na umeleta nini ingine ya kuendanisha na hii soap? Like, it's like people were actually expecting us to show up with the soap and something on top, and especially this something on top is supposed to be food, because if you listen to them, they're like, oh, unajua hatuna chakula, so what are we even supposed to do? So umetuletea sabuni, tutaosha mikono, but sasa ni nini to happen next? Yes, so people are people are freaked out, and people don't even know where to get started. And the fact that actually some counties are going on lockdown here in Kenya, I can actually say things might even get tougher going forward. So I don't know about you guys, but how are you handling? I would really love to know how you are handling a situation like this, something the government was not prepared for, something that we all are not prepared for. And even for those people, as I said, who are casual laborers and they rely on working on a day-to-day basis so that they can earn a living and actually fend for their kids and for their families. So what are you up to, and how are you coping? Are we having more conversations on how people are coping, and do we even need to have more of that? Yesterday, the president gave a speech, and from what I hear, I have not watched it, but I've seen a lot of memes going around about artists being given 100 million, and I don't know. Maybe did he actually say how he's going to deal with food security, especially for people who can't afford to just be on lockdown doing nothing. It's really tough. So mental health, it's easy for people to be stressed at such times, to feel anxious, to feel uncertain, and especially if, for example, you are relying on that day-to-day kind of experience so that you can put food on your table. So how do you deal with that? How are you actually supposed to tell your kids that, what, leo hakuna kitu ya kukula, we might actually sleep hungry? How are you even supposed to start like rationing your food so that you can actually make sure that if you have something, it can actually extend maybe to a week, it can stretch over to a month? And for how long are you supposed to stretch the resources that you have? So how are you coping? That's the question. How are you coping? And we need to have more discussions around that. So what I would say for me, I am really trying to stretch my own resources. But what I would encourage you during these very uncertain times, it's very important to keep having conversations with your family, with your friends. Are you calling your mom? Are you calling your parents? Are you calling your siblings? Are you calling your friends? Do you actually know how they are coping? Do you know how they are doing? This is the perfect time to start reaching out to people. Sometimes you might actually not be able to provide for them with stuff like money or food, but just the emotional support, having someone who can actually listen to them can actually go a long way. So talk to people, talk to your family, talk to your friends, and have conversations about how they are actually coping with these difficult times. Another thing you can actually do with the small resources that you have, whether it's financial, whether it's food, whether it's just supplies in the house, this is actually that time where you should start rationing. Ration. Don't go overboard with anything. Be very meticulous and just portion stuff. If it's food, start portioning, start rationing, whatever that is. Just make sure it can stretch just a little bit longer. And then for those people who have their businesses closed, I don't even know what to tell you. But what I can say, probably there's hope at the end of the tunnel. And then if you have something to spare, if you have food to spare, if you have soap to spare, if you have clothes to spare, please give. Give to those who do not have enough. If you have, just give. And then another thing you can do, if you have a small space around your home that you can actually plant something, we don't know when COVID-19 will come to an end, but just plant something so that you can harvest it in the near future. Whether it's vegetables, start growing your own vegetables, because at the end of the day, if you might not be able, and God forbid, if you might not be able to actually go to a grocery shop and buy, or mama mboga, and buy our own burgers, then we actually need to find a way to do that in our own homes, in our own small ways. Recycle a gunia, recycle a tire, but plant something. You might not be harvesting it in the next 2 weeks, but who knows, in the next 1 month, you could actually be fending for yourself from your own small farm. So as I said, these are very uncertain times and people don't even know what's going to happen. And then I think lastly, what we actually also need to do, especially here in Kenya, we need to hold our governments accountable. What is the government doing about the situation? I've seen other countries supplying food for people, especially people in low income areas who can't afford it. I feel like we have a lot of money that can actually be spared to feed people here in Kenya. You know, this is the time to hold governments accountable, and even as individuals to be more accountable to ourselves, to our neighbors, and to our friends. As I said, as a person, you can share what you have if you have in excess, but then you need to ask the government those tough questions, you know. But sometimes I wonder, if they're not able to feed people in Turkana when there's a drought, now what will happen right now if we go on lockdown and a lot more people need food? So let's hope that it doesn't get there. But also let's hold our leaders accountable, because I believe they can be able to actually feed people who actually cannot feed themselves right now. And then again, lastly, I think the most important thing is to, if you can just stay at home, sanitize, make sure you wash your hands, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth, don't touch your eyes, and cough in the right way or sneeze, because you don't want to be the people who are actually carrying the virus and passing on to other people. So anyway, I'm not here to scare you. My concern was just talking about mental health and how people can actually cope with this whole issue. So people have lost income, but I think this is communism begins here. This is the time to help other people. This is the time to be there for each other. So I don't know about you. I don't know how you're coping and how your friends and family are coping and keeping up. But you can actually comment down below so that we can learn from each other. And if you can be able to encourage another person out there, please do so, because these are the times that we all need someone and a shoulder to actually lean on. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Until the next video, keep safe, stay at home if you can, and share what you can share and spare for other people. So love and light to you, and positive vibes to you. Thank you. Bye.